I wasn't even gonna make a huddle, and you were like, "Hey, Tracy, you need to you need to get this film out, you know?" And
Right.
I was like, "I don't know how to do it." You're like, "I got you. Give me a day. Like, let me make these plays." And probably 3 days later, it was like, I'm in class, and Coach White's like, "Hey, Trace, come outside real quick. I got a call for you." And it was Memphis. I'd never talked to them before,
Uh-huh.
and they're just like, "Hey, we're gonna offer you. You're gonna be your first offer." And after that, it was like.
What's up, everybody? This is Coach Love with the ROK Podcast. I have today is a little special to me. So I started coaching him when he was in the 7th grade at middle school, Summit Middle School in Edmond, Oklahoma. I remember telling him once he turns that beast loose, he will dominate everybody in front of him. His junior year, he balled out. He dominated everybody in front of him. Put his highlight film together and shot it off to a lot of people that all the social media outlets. Dang, it seemed like overnight. He just started getting calls and offers left and right. During his senior year, he probably got all the awards you could think of, whether it's All-State, All-City, All-Conference. He got Player of the Year several times, ranked in the top 10 in like all national media outlets, including ESPN, Rivals, 247. He was also a good baseball player. And I remember him cranking a grand slam to beat Jinx to go to the state championship. And from then on, in the championship, they won state. Man, I'm happy to have him here. And so welcome to the ROK Podcast, Trace Ford, Oklahoma defensive lineman. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Appreciate you having me.
Doing all right, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Man, so what's going on with you right now, man?
Going in my last year of football in college, so just trying to make the most of it.
All right, so take me back to that grand slam, man. That when what was set the scene for me? What was the count? What was the situation, man? What was going on right there?
So once we were down by 3 or down by 2, last inning, bases loaded.
You were down by 2, you said?
Down by 2,
bases loaded.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
1 out, okay.
And yeah, man, everyone was down. You know, I already packed my bag before I came up to bat. I didn't think I was even gonna come up to bat. You know.
You wasn't ready to go. You wasn't ready to hit a knock. No. You'd already hit another home run.
I hit one, earlier in the game, and yeah, I just they walked the dude in front of us who was committed to OSU for baseball, and so I kind of took that as disrespect. You know, I was like, all right, not bringing me up.
So forget the guy that's committed to OSU for football.
Mm-hmm. And then they changed pitchers, and it was the first pitch. It was right down the middle, just a fastball, and I just cranked it. Yeah,
four run, grand slam, man. Because I remember you. As soon as you hit the ball, I think you turned it to the stands and like, what's up?
Definitely the best sports memory of my life, like best moment.
I can imagine. And so right after that, you know, was it the next week? Yeah, you guys played in the state tournament.
Next day.
Next day.
That was the semifinals. So the next day we were in the championship.
Right. And who'd you play in the championship?
Broken Arrow.
Yeah. And y'all won that one 5-4. 5-4.
5-4. Yeah.
5-4. Okay. Mm-hmm. Man, I saw a video of it and. I was like, dang, my boy Trace knocked him into the state championship, man. Oh, that's a good deal. So before we get into all the sports and stuff like that, tell me about Trace Ford, man. Tell me where you grew up, where you were born, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was born in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Lived in Oklahoma City until I was like 6. You know, moved to Edmond, and I got 9 brothers and sisters. Big family.
Yeah.
Been always a hectic household. And everyone in my family, we play sports. You know, my whole life I've been competitive, playing with my sisters, playing with my brothers. So
yeah,
just had a very competitive natured family. We were always active, doing stuff, and went to Westfield Elementary, then Summit Middle School, and Santa Fe High School. But yeah, I've been in Oklahoma my whole life. This is where I'm from.
So you probably been asked this before, but who's the best athlete in the house?
You know, I want to say me. You know?
Okay.
I got a little sister. She's a freshman going to be a sophomore who's
softball.
Really good. Yeah, she has a lot of schools talking to her, looking at her already. Tennessee, LSU. So she's probably going to be a little more better than me coming out of high school. But I'm not going to tell her that. You got a good string of athletes in the family.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know Willa. Willa played with my daughter.
Yep.
She's going to, where's she going to?
Grand Canyon University.
That's right. So in the household, you mentioned everybody's an athlete. So so growing up with you guys, did you all compete in everything y'all did? I mean, like I mean, who got to the door first or who got to the car first, all that stuff.
Yeah, who get front seat, who gets all of that. Yeah.
What kind of car did y'all have? Did y'all have like a bus?
We had a minivan. Yeah,
Okay,
we had a red minivan for like most of my life.
Okay.
We all pack in there. Yeah.
Okay. So all at one time, how many would be in the house at like maybe all at once, like the most?
All the siblings.
Yeah.
When I was young, it was all of us. All of us
Yeah.
was. Or, I mean, my little sisters weren't born. Probably like 7 altogether is the most
Okay.
that I've ever lived with.
Okay. Tell me about your parents. I mean, I know I personally know your parents, but did your mom and dad play sports or anything?
No, I mean not at the college level. My dad played football in high school. Growing up playing football. My mom played basketball at a small school, Fairview, Oklahoma.
Okay.
But nothing outside of high school.
Okay. How soon? So how soon did you start playing sports? Like, do you remember what grade you were in?
Yeah, I was in pre-K and I started playing t-ball.
Pre-K,
I
okay.
played on my older brother's team. He was 2 years older than me. They needed help, and I was always out there just trying to run around, get balls, so they let me play with them. And I was like one of the better players on the team. I remember just falling in love with baseball.
Yeah. So was baseball your favorite sport?
No doubt. Yeah.
Still to this day.
To this day, yeah.
To this day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like football though. I love football.
Okay, you got to.
Yeah.
You got to. So you playing. I mean, you playing at one of the highest levels. Most people don't get to the D1 level, or in college, but rather. So I mean, and hopefully you get that one more step. You be in the league and making that money. At a young age, who motivated you? Who was a motivator in your family?
Growing up, it was really just my dad. He created like a reward system. It was more like based off of incentives. So if I like did good in basketball, baseball, football, whatever, he would give me something out of it. He would take me out to dinner if I hit a home run, or we did something called minutes.
Okay.
So if I wanted to play the game, I would have to like either read for 30 minutes,
okay.
and then I would have like, it's like money, but it was like minutes. You have 30 minutes to play the game.
Yeah.
So, I hit a home run, you get 2 hours. So I'd have that on my sheet, 2 hours. I play the game for 2 hours,
You kept track of that mess.
Yeah, it was really an incentive-based thing I did.
Yeah, I remember when, our daughters, Willa was playing with my daughter, and they both played at Santa Fe. And I remember your dad telling me about, like, she would have to give Willa some money, actual money. And he said, man, I'm going broke, man. I got to pay all this money. She's hitting all these balls. I'm trying to tell her to slow down. So, but yeah, I remember y'all always have some type of system.
Money driven, for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Did you play multiple sports when you were little? So I know you played t-ball, baseball.
Played basketball. Started that in like 2nd grade. And then I didn't start playing football until 6th grade. I played in YMCA with some of my friends, and 7th grade started at Summit.
Do you remember any of your little league coaches?
Baseball-wise, yeah, I know. I remember all of my baseball coaches, all my basketball coaches. Still see some of them around in the city once in a while.
Yeah.
One coach is Coach Kennard. Played with his team. He's from Duncan, and he had all these Duncan kids. But he was one of the biggest coaches that sticks out in my mind just because when my parents couldn't take me because they had my sisters, he was always taking me. He was kind of like a second father, always helping me out. So that was one of those coaches I really remember.
So before you got to high school, I mean, you playing playing at Summit. Did you ever even go to high school games or watch football or baseball? Did you watch high school baseball or anything like that?
A little bit. I watched a little bit of high school baseball, Santa Fe, and then when the Santa Fe used to play at UCO, I used to go to the games on Friday nights and hang out, play on the hill, and watch some of their football then.
Now that you dominated middle school. I mean, and you really didn't have to dominate. I mean, I remember coaching you, and we were undefeated both years, 7th and 8th grade, I think. And I remember just telling you, man, dude, if you just attack, because you were already bigger than everybody. So coming in as a freshman, I know you were one of the few freshmen that got to play, got pulled up to varsity.
I got pulled up. I didn't play, but I got pulled up.
Yeah, so same thing with Cameron. He just pulled up and got to stand on the sideline with the wrong number jersey and all that stuff. No.
47. It was we played Broken Arrow. It was like raining, super cold. I'm just out there on the sidelines, happy to be there. Like, this is awesome.
In high school, did you play more than one sport? I know you played baseball and football. What did you play? Anything else? Did you?
I played basketball my freshman year. I ran track in middle school, and then that was it. Yeah, I played basketball my senior year and broke my foot like the first game of the year. So called it quits.
I remember picking you up, and I know I had my travel team, and I remember picking you up and playing a few games, and then I saw you one time playing with some team and you'd already committed. I think you'd already committed to Oklahoma State. I said, hey man, be careful, man. Just watch out. You could get injured, and then you broke your foot.
Broke my foot. Yeah.
Broke your foot. Besides yourself, you were one of the greats that came out of Edmond Santa Fe. Can you tell me any of the other guys that you played with that were great or that were pretty good?
And the first guy that comes to my mind is Calvin Bundage.
Bundy.
When I was a freshman, he was like a superstar, giant D1 athlete, had offers to OSU, Oregon,
Yeah.
And so I was fascinated with him my freshman year. Even in 8th grade, I knew who he was, and I was just like, that dude's amazing. He was a safety, just coming downhill and smacking dudes. So
you remember that walk he used to do when he
the Conor McGregor money walk? Dude, I used to want to model my game after him when I was in high school. I was so fascinated with Calvin Bundage.
Yeah. Have you kept up with him? Have you seen what he's doing now?
Yeah. He's still playing in Massachusetts.
He's playing some arena ball, right?
Arena ball, yeah. He's doing really good for the league.
I've been keeping up with him, man. He's been doing his thing. Anybody else?
Baseball wise, Blake Robertson. That's another dude who just could hit the ball well. He was a really good athlete. Played with though, I don't know. I mean, Calvin Bundage is the first dude I think.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So when you played, were there any memorable game moments that just stuck out in your mind?
Junior year, we played Booker T. Washington. I was on JV, and we had some guys quit at nose guard, and Coach Rose was like, "Let's get you out there. We need help." And I went out there, and it was the first play in. I timed up the snap and
you were good at
got a sack. Yeah. And ever since that's when I really started loving football. I was like, wait, I could actually be really good at this,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So that's when it all clicked. It was junior year. That Booker T was the third game of the year.
Because I distinctly remember you would time up those snaps perfectly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it looked like you were offsides, but if you look at it on film and you just man, this dude is his first step is just quicker than everybody else's. And I remember that from that point on, you just I can dominate.
Especially in high school when the centers, you could always tell when they're bad. Broken Arrows dude would always look left and then snap the ball every single time. And they never switched it up, never went on two. And I was like, okay, hold up.
Let's do something here.
Let's make some money.
Who was your biggest rival at Edmond Santa Fe? I mean, as far as teams.
I want to say, Edmond North, Edmond Memorial, but we win every year,
Okay. Yeah.
But that was definitely the biggest game of the year for us, kind of in a way, just because that was the crosstown rival. It was packed out, everyone's there. But personally, I thought it was UConn and Broken Arrow who I got really hyped up to play.
Okay.
I had some friends at UConn, a lot of guys I grew up with, so I really wanted to beat them. And Broken Arrow, I just hated a lot of guys on that team. So.
Okay. So before you demolished the kid in front of you, did you ever talk noise to him?
Not really, not in high school until I really became something. But at first, I was really just playing, not getting worked up.
Yeah.
Definitely over the years, I've started talking a lot more. Yeah, for sure.
And did they talk back to you?
Yeah, and that's what makes me play better. Is when you start talking to me, start talking trash. You say your mom jokes. That's why I'm like, okay, hold on. So I like the trash talk.
Tell me about Coach White. Tell me, how did he help you on your way? How was he as a coach?
Great coach, great mentor. Great guy all around. We definitely had our hard. I didn't like him a lot growing freshman, sophomore, junior year of high school. He was kind of mean. I didn't really understand the discipline part. Wasn't taking discipline great by him. Mm-hmm. But he taught me a lot of lessons. Definitely matured a lot being around that guy and just being around his family. He was really family organized, and I really liked him a lot for that. And even after high school, to this day, we still talk all the time. He still keeps up with me, so he's a good guy.
Yeah. Were there any other coaches that you that you looked up to?
Coach Rose for sure. He'll always be one of my all-time favorite people on earth.
Yeah.
Always when I got to OSU, I used to beg him to come up there and coach. Come on, I know you can get a job up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he would teach me, help me with plays while I was at OSU. So Coach Rose for sure.
All right, so tell me this: you're playing Owasso. Tell me what went through your head when you saw one of your teammates get stiff-armed by was it Josh Proctor?
Yeah,
Proctor.
Mm-hmm.
On his way to a touchdown. What went through your head? What?
I didn't. That was when I didn't really know about going D1. I didn't. That was fresh to me, and this dude just absolutely obliterates Josh, our teammate, as well, and everyone for 2 weeks straight. He was getting mocked at school, made fun of. It was hilarious because he went viral, and he was my best friend that went viral. So it was to this day we still talk about that all the time.
Yeah, my son talked about that too. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But that was a big stiff arm. During your junior year, going into your senior year, recruiting is picked up. You know, after send out the video for you. How soon, like after we got that video out, like tell me about what happened after that.
Not even a week after. It was like a couple days after. I remember I wasn't even gonna make a huddle, and you were like, "Hey, Tracy, you need to you need to get this film out," you know. And
Right.
I was like, "I don't know how to do it." You're like, "I got you. Give me a day. Like, let me make these plays." And probably 3 days later, it was like I'm in class, and Coach White's like, "Hey, Trace, come outside real quick. I got a call for you." And it was Memphis. I never talked to them before, and they're just like, "Hey, we're gonna offer you. You're gonna be your first offer." And after that, it was like Iowa State,
Yeah.
Louisiana Monroe. Like, I got like 10 offers in like 2 days. Like, it
Yeah.
just blew up.
I remember that.
It was fun.
That's what I mean. I enjoyed every bit of that. I mean, when you would tell me, and I would see it on Twitter and stuff like that, I'm like, man, it's gonna. I already knew because remember I told you. I said, man, once you let loose and you figure it out, nobody's gonna stop you, and you're gonna be the biggest. I mean, hell, you were ranked in the nation, like, and just by that film and your first step. I mean, I tell you, it's unheard of the way you just came off the ball, and I was just like, man, you finna make it big.
Yeah.
So, did you even have to attend any camps or anything like that? I mean, did you? I remember you going to the Nike Open.
The opening.
Was that? Were there any other camps that you went to?
Yeah, I did all the little circuits. I went to the Under Armour Invitational. I went to the Rivals camp in Texas. And then I went to a couple camps. I went to one in like Commerce, Texas, just because I saw there was like 50 coaches there, and I already had offers, but I just wanted to compete, just see if I can get more, you know.
Yeah.
So I went there. Yeah, I just like camps. I like competing, so I was like, well, why might as well.
I was like, you already had a bunch of offers. Like you ain't got to go to camps no more. I mean, you just showed up. You know, here's my film. Take a look. You offer me or not. You know. So, but how many official visits did you go on? Recruiting visits.
I just went on one.
One?
I went on a lot of visits, but the only official visit I went on was OSU.
So most of them were unofficial. Just kind of tell me what about the unofficial visits.
A blast. You know, once I got those offers, it was like I got the offers in December, January of my junior year, going into my senior year.
Yeah.
And it was like all spring when I wasn't playing baseball. I was at a college every weekend.
Yeah.
1 week we went to like OU, down to TCU, down to Texas. Like we made a whole trip out of it. It was just every weekend we were traveling, me and my mom or me and my dad. It was fun.
But your only official visit was Oklahoma State. And who was your top five that you coming down to you were getting ready to decide who was your top five schools that you were looking at?
It was Baylor, Florida State, Oregon, Arkansas, and OSU.
Okay. Did you just say Oklahoma? Did you?
No, I didn't have an offer. Yeah, no.
That's right. They didn't offer you.
Yeah, I didn't have an offer then.
Man,
yeah.
Being one of the top ranked kids in the country, what ultimately made you choose Oklahoma State to go to Oklahoma State?
Just family. I've never been really out of Oklahoma. I lived out of Oklahoma, and you know I have so many siblings. I wanted them to watch me play, and Oklahoma State just made sense. I always liked Oklahoma State growing up. They were always an underdog. I always rooted for them, so it was just the perfect fit in my mind.
Yeah. Did you build a lot of bonds, teammates, brothers there, playing there?
Yeah, so many.
Name a few of the players that are.
Gordy Guy Miller, Colin Oliver, Jaden Nixon.
Now Colin went to Edmond Santa Fe as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. When he got there, it was amazing. It was just like perfect. And then Talon and Tabry came up there. It was just, it felt like some whole pipeline. Everyone started saying the Edmond Santa Fe Oklahoma State pipeline.
Right.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Bundy.
Yeah, Bundage was there. Yeah. And then Brock Martin, Malcolm Marquez, became really close with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Off the field, outside of football and stuff. Give me maybe a story or two about you and your boys where you had a little bit too much fun outside of football.
Or
we can skip to the next question.
No, I remember it was. This is a funny story here. It was freshman year, and I was kind of quiet, and a lot of the guys were all in one room. They're all like drinking, hanging out. It was like a Friday night after workouts in the summer when we got there, and they like came to my room like, come on, like pull up. So I pulled up, and I was there for like maybe 45 minutes, and you're not allowed to have alcohol in the rooms. And I guess it was causing we were being loud. And so I leave, and like as I'm walking back to my dorm, 3 cops pull up into like the OSU cops pull in.
Okay.
They trap everyone in the room.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, called Gundy and like had Gundy like took the names down of each guy.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like gone, and I was just like I felt so bad for like a
Oh
week
man.
because everyone had to run for it, and I wasn't a part of it, so I was like good. And
Yeah.
I was one of those like welcome to college. I was terrified.
Yeah, you
Like
got out just in time.
yeah, I was like blessed.
Tell me about some of the challenges that you had there.
Yeah, it was sophomore year. I played as a freshman, played as a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
Last game of the year, we're playing Baylor, COVID year, so probably game 8, but it was our last season game. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was. What sucks about that is I was having like a breakout game,
Yeah.
like breakout performance. I had like a strip sack, like first play of the game. Had like 2 sacks that game. And I was really doing good and tore my ACL trying to make an inside move and double teamed and just got caught off guard and bam, that.
Man, and so you were out for like, you mean you had surgery? How long were you supposed to be out for that, or how long were you out?
Yeah, I missed the bowl game, recovered during the spring, summer, got healthy like a week before the first game, got cleared to like actually start playing, doing everything again.
Yeah.
That practice, like the second play I was out there,
Uh-huh.
the running back runs a little flare route.
Okay.
I cover him.
Yeah.
I go for the ball, and when I jump, like someone hit my leg, and I landed, like I got scared and landed on my other leg and snapped that ACL.
Dang.
So it was just 2 ACLs back to back. Never been hurt in my life. Never
Wow.
really had no serious injury, and then
Yeah.
bam. So I was out for that season, 2021.
That's tough, man. Were there any other challenges at Oklahoma State before leaving?
No, I mean those 2 injuries, it was just kind of hard to kind of ever really shake back, just because like it was more of a mental thing. Like
Yeah.
the physical side, I was great. I was doing really good in rehab. It was just more mentally. Like I'd be out at practice, and I'd make a weird move, and I'd kind of feel it for a second. I'm just coming back. I'm like 8 months out, and
Yeah.
it would scare me. I would
Kinda
be
scary, yeah.
terrified. Like I would start like I'd be like crap. Like don't get hurt. And I'd be terrified. And I feel like it was just kind of like in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Just like be careful. I couldn't really play hard because I was afraid of getting hurt again.
Yeah, it's hard to play like that. If you start playing careful, I mean, you'll definitely get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Exactly.
but you don't want to be in the game and you playing and you're thinking and because it's hard to play like that. What led to the decision to leave Oklahoma State?
It was just the mental aspect of coming back from injury. I just felt like I couldn't shake back, and I was graduating. I already was about to graduate, and it was just mentally tough for me with the injury aspect. I just couldn't shake it. Like I just couldn't get back to being to where I was like just like diving for balls, like just playing fearless. And I just felt like maybe if I got a new atmosphere, a new environment, that it would help me out, which I think it has tremendously.
No matter where a kid plays, I want to support. I mean, I've had several kids go to play at Oklahoma, and Justin Broyles, I coached him in high school. Hate that he went there, but I was always I supported him because he was one of my kids, and same as you. And you always I remember texting you. It was in 2022, and asked how you were and stuff like that, and I know we had a deeper conversation via text, and I know one of the things was you mentioned mental trauma, just kind of the protocol, and I guess it all comes down to like what you're comfortable with, your mental state, and just like you said, changing the atmosphere it could be better. You didn't know for sure, but it could be better. Now, so tell me about when you made that decision to look at other schools. I know you went on some more visits to when you entered the transfer portal, and tell me some of the schools that were interested in you. All the teams in the country again, or
it was definitely crazier than high school. It wasn't as much, but it was like in high school I didn't have the only SEC was Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and when I went in the portal, it was like LSU. Tennessee came to my house like 2 hours later. They came that day.
As soon as you entered the portal?
DC came. I entered the night before. I think it was like cleared at like 3 a.m. And like at like 6 a.m. I had calls from all these coaches.
Yeah.
And Tennessee was like, "Hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 3 hours." And I was like, "All right." Like same for USC. They came like the next day. Lincoln Riley pulled up to my house. And
wow.
It was crazy. I had a lot of bigger schools hitting me up than high school.
So did Alabama was one of them?
They hit me up. They didn't offer. They just checked in on
me. I thought you went to visit there one time.
I went and visited Auburn.
Auburn,
SMU.
that may be you.
Yeah,
okay.
I went to Auburn.
Okay, man, that had to be a a great experience. Did you get to go on a visits?
Yeah, I took all my official visits when I was in the portal. I
Good.
made sure to get all of them
Yeah,
out of the
man.
way.
Have
I
fun,
took
man.
5. Yeah, I went all. It was all back to back to back too. I went to
Yeah.
Auburn, flew back home, went to OU. No, I went to Auburn, flew straight to SMU from Auburn,
Okay.
and then flew back home that same day. Went to OU for a day. Next morning, flew to California to go to USC.
Did you ever get to spend a night at any of these places?
All of them except OU. I just went for a day.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at USC for 3 days, SMU for 2.
Let them wine you and
Auburn
dine
for
you.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I would have loved to done that again, man.
It was fun.
So what was the deciding factor in you choosing Oklahoma University? What made you want to become a Sooner?
Once again, I tested the water. I went to USC, so far away. I just was like, this is far. The people were just different out there. It just came back down to like my family watched me play, and I was like, they can watch me play every single weekend. Like they can come watch me, and that was just the deciding factor right there. And then Coach Venables and Coach Chavis, their like resume and what they did at Clemson.
Oh yeah.
What they do with defensive linemen, Christian Watkins, So like they got dudes, and I was like, if you can develop these guys, I want to be developed by you.
Right. Yeah. Was it hard for you to make that decision, knowing some of the backlash you may get?
Yeah.
Or did you? Okay, go ahead and answer that.
No, yeah. I mean, it wasn't hard. I knew I would get backlash. It wasn't hard though. Like I don't know. I was kind of like fine with the backlash.
Yeah.
I knew it would happen.
You expected it.
I was more afraid of like my friends at OSU, my good friends, my teammates. I was afraid they would judge me for, and that was the worst part. Was like no one Gundy would think me going to OU, and my coaches and my friends. That was the hardest part. Was really that.
Well, did any of them flake on you?
A couple, but like there was the guys that were like, we're teammates, we were cool, we were friends, but we weren't like hanging out on the daily. We weren't like brothers, There was a couple of guys like that who kind of when I did it, we're talking mess, and my boys were like, "Hey, this dude talking trash on you right now in the locker room." And I'm just like, whatever, screw it. I just know the guys like you're my day one.
But your aces, those stay. They stay solid, huh?
Even my mom was like mad at me, like. When I told her I was visiting OU, she's like, "No, you're not. Like, don't you? Why would you do that? Like, don't do that." Like, she's diehard OSU fan, But she's a bigger Trace Ford fan. So once I was like, I'm making that decision, she's like, went all in, got rid of her OSU clothes, got her OU clothes,
Yeah.
So.
Man, I know that was tough. I mean, it was tough for me. I felt like a parent, and I was like, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
But no, so tell me, how did you handle it? How did you handle, or did you even care? About it.
For the most part, it didn't get under my skin. Like, I kind of, I don't know. I didn't take it that hard. It wasn't bad. I got it was definitely crazy on social media. I was getting all these DMs.
Oh yeah.
Text messages. People were finding my number and trying to leave voicemails. It was crazy, but never did it really faze me to where I was sad about it or anything.
Yeah. So. It's crazy. I saw all type of stuff, man. I wanted to send a blanket text. Just a message out, man, leave this boy alone, man. But it's funny you get criticism from people that have never touched a football in their life, never been on the field. I knew you would take it well. I know you have that mindset is, as long as my friends, my family, and we're all good, nothing else matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of, and of course you had all your coaches, and me, although I'm a Cowboy, and I don't care as long as I'm a Trace, like you said.
Yeah,
I'm a Trace Ford fan. So,
and I still go. My girlfriend goes to Stillwater. Or went to Stillwater, so I would still go to Stillwater all the time.
Yeah.
See my friends, teammates. Never did it bother me to the point where I was like, I can't even go to Stillwater no more.
Yeah. So now that you are a Sooner, what any struggles that you've had so far? Have you had any injuries? Any minor injuries? Okay.
Nope, I've been cleared, been healthy since I got to OU.
Good. Knock on wood. Bam.
Yeah.
So, I hope stays that way. I hope you have a successful season coming up. Now, tell me what went through your mind when you learned that you guys were going to the SEC.
I knew it was an option when I was going there in the first place.
Did you?
I
Okay.
knew if I had to stay another year, I would be there. And I don't know. I'm not really nervous. Never really was scared about it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
All the games are going to be sold out this year, Playing these teams, it's obviously really historical, kind of just feels different than the Big 12, but I don't think there are any better than the Big 12 guys.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I agree.
Maybe a little bigger, maybe have more clout on their name, you know.
Yeah.
But we played Texas A&M my freshman year, and I had a pretty good game. And going into it, I was in my head like SEC. These are big dudes, and they're just like OU dudes, you know, just big guys. And it was fun. It was good competition.
They're just from different parts of the country,
yeah.
you know. Just who are you anxious to play in the SEC? Anybody in particular? Any team?
Definitely Alabama, just because of the name.
Yeah,
maybe maybe they're not as good this year. They're still good. They're a good
football
team.
Alabama. Yeah.
So seeing them coming to Norman next year, I'm gonna be kind of like, wow, like this is it. This is cool.
Are you happy with where you're at on the depth chart? Have they released that, or do you know where you are on that?
Yeah, I mean they haven't released. I mean there's not a depth chart right now,
but you got
but I know where I'm at. Yeah,
okay.
I started during spring ball. You know, it's either that or with the twos, but with the DNs, it's 4 guys are basically all going to get the same amount of reps, other than maybe a guy or two. So, I mean, as long as I have a good fall camp, I think this will be a great year for me. I'll get plenty of time to showcase my ability.
Yeah, you probably got a lot of reps in spring and stuff like that, and so that's good stuff. Obviously, NFL is a goal for most athletes that play ball. You know, NBA, NFL, MLB. You know, you already have a degree. You have a bachelor's.
2 bachelors.
2 bachelors, and you have an MBA.
Yeah, MBA. Yeah.
MBA. Okay, that's a master's in business administration.
Yeah.
So you have that to fall back on. If you don't make it to the NFL, what is your plan? You have 3 degrees, and so what do you plan to do with those? Do you have you thought about that yet?
No, not really. I mean, I'm starting another master's in the fall.
Okay.
And so if you once I start it, they kind of like will pay for it after my career at OU.
Okay, yeah.
So if I don't make it to the NFL, I would just finish that up, and then it's construction and business, and I'm interested in property management as well. So I think that's something I want to get into.
Okay.
But I don't know. I met a lot of people in college. You know, social networking is the biggest part about business, and I met a lot of people. So I think that won't be a problem finding a job once I'm done.
Yeah, I think, I mean, OU is probably like OSU. If you build bonds with that group of people, and you graduate with that degree, I mean, you know, it's a bond for life, and they're gonna support their own, and keep building relationships. That's how I would encourage you to do.
Yeah.
I think just about everybody in Oklahoma probably knows who you are, if they follow sports. I mean, the 2 biggest schools, OSU and OU, and you went to both of them. So keep building those bonds and keep building those relationships. So tell me about what are your bachelors in?
Business management and business marketing.
Okay, so you just going into business some type of way, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You ever thought about going into coaching?
Yeah.
Any? Okay.
Yeah.
College or
the dream is if I went to the NFL and made a lot of money to just go coach. Yeah, go coach either baseball or high school football.
Okay.
I don't think I can do the college route. You know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I love it, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm single and you know it's I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you have to be single or
just be really committed to what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know being a coach myself, and just at the high school level, it's demanding, and my wife and kids, and sacrifice a lot of hours, you know, doing that stuff. And I can only imagine being a college coach and an NFL coach. You may get a lot more money, but there's some giving.
Especially because you got to start at like the graduate assistant level, and every single year we have a whole new OSU and OU. It's like a whole new batch of guys every year.
Every year?
Not every year, but like every other year. Just
most
like
of them.
You see guys like come in, like there's just so many dudes, and it's just like they're here, and next thing you know, they're in South Carolina. You know, they're in New Mexico. They're just jumping schools, traveling. They're living here for a year.
Trying to build up their resume.
A lot, yeah.
Do you have any other goals besides NFL and?
No, I mean, I'm just really competitive. So, like, whatever I get into after football, it's competition. That's why I like business so much.
You seem like you would be an MMA fighter. Would you get into that?
Before I tore my knees, I was really interested. Like, I told my parents, like, once football's over, I'm getting into, like, boxing or MMA or taekwondo, something. I want to, like, learn how to fight. They're just like, why'd you do that? No.
You might snap somebody in half.
That's something I'd really be interested in, actually.
I pay to come watch you do that. How has NIL worked out for you since you've been in college? So at Oklahoma State, how did that work out?
It was good.
Okay.
It was Gundy was really about equal pay.
Yeah.
When I was there, I know it's changed a little bit the format, but it was really about every guy walk on and scholarship player gets the same amount of money. No one's different.
Walk-ons too?
Yeah, they got
Okay.
they got a little less than us, but
Yeah.
every month we got our stipend and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
a little extra money on the side, and
For that.
everyone on the team got it, and so it was kind of cool. Like, it was a cool format, just seeing how every guy benefited from NIL.
That's good. Good. Did you have any deals outside of the collective?
Yeah,
For shoes?
nothing crazy. I'd make little money side money.
Yeah.
Clothing line. Hey, post these clothes. We'll give you some clothes. We'll give you $100. And I'm like, bet. Like, that's great for me. I don't mind that. See some guys with like all these giant deals, car deals, like, and that's cool too. But I'm just happy with these clothes I'm getting. I'm like, yeah, just a clean shirt. Let me get it. Like, yeah, you got it. Post it. Perfect.
Tell me, what would be your dream NIL deal? Like, who would be? You love to fish.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you said that, I was like, definitely something outdoor wise, like
Bass
I don't know.
Pro or something. I mean, something
Yeah.
you got on the hat. You're already endorsing them right now. So,
And if I had a truck, it would have been game over already. I would have already had a kayak, a 4-wheeler. There's so many things I want. I don't have a truck, so I'm like, I can't get these things, But definitely something like Bass Pro or Carhartt, something with fishing lines, fishing. Someone supply me with fishing gear, I'd be set for life. I'd be happy.
Set. Well, how often do you fish? How often do you go fishing?
During the spring, it's like every day. It's like after practice or before practice, whatever time I got, I'm going fishing.
What do you fish for?
Bass and crappie.
Bass and crappie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once in a while, I'll go for catfish, but usually bass and crappie.
I was gonna say, do you go for catfish?
Yeah.
Do you have you ever noodled?
Once I have a spot at Lake Eufaula. I didn't put my hand in the hole, but I watched my aunt do it while I covered the other side of the hole. So, and I was scared to do that.
Oh man,
I don't think that's for me.
I don't know if I could do it, man.
Yeah, it's not for me. I'm not putting my hand in no hole.
But there's a glove that do you put on a glove or anything like that?
My aunt didn't, but yeah, I know people do. She's hillbilly. My aunt is from the country, lives in the country, and so she's all about it. But I would definitely have to put a glove on.
That's crazy. What's the biggest fish you've caught?
5.5 pounds. It was a bass. I didn't have the scale, but it was definitely the biggest fish I've ever caught. And I'm being generous. I want to say it's a 5.5. Could have been like 6, but yeah, it was huge for me.
And where was that at? It
was in Norman. It was like maybe a month or two ago. I caught it at a pond in Norman, and first time ever going. It was like second cast, caught it, and it was.
Got it. Yeah.
Adrenaline pumping. Fell in the water to get it.
And what type of lures or bait do you use?
A lot of Texas rigs. A lot of swim baits.
Okay.
And if it's
I don't know what a Texas rig is. What is a Texas rig?
Just plastic worms, plastic bait, and then the way you hook it to where the hook hides in the belly, so you don't get hooked up on weeds and moss and stuff. And then when the fish bites it, it slides out and hooks them.
Okay. Well, I do know that.
Yeah.
I do know how to hook the worms and stuff like that. But I'm not a professional like you. So.
Oh, I'm not even a professional.
I need you to hook you up with Coach Rashawn Woods. He, of course, he's a superstar that came out 2-time All-American and drafted to the league. But him and his brothers, man, they fish a lot. So maybe I'll hook you up with them.
Is he still in Enid, or?
He actually took a head coaching job in Tyler, Texas.
Oh, okay.
He's coaching a high school there.
Okay.
But he's doing well up there. They're going and having summer pride and all that stuff. But I need to hook y'all up and let y'all go fishing, man. Y'all enjoy it.
I met him one time. I went to an FCA event in Enid, and he was there, and he was really nice. He was a really cool guy.
In games, you have momentum. Momentum shifts. And one moment you can have all the momentum, it can carry you all the way through to the end, and you win. There are momentum shifts where the game could go either way. So in your life, tell me about a major, and I know we've talked about a lot today, but tell me about any momentum shifts in your life, or one major momentum shift in your life that, whether it was good or bad, what happened and how did you overcome it?
This year, for example, we were playing. It was a huge momentum shift in my head personally. We were playing Texas. They're driving down the field. It's a fourth quarter. I think we're up by 4-3, something like that. And it's like third down, and I got a penalty thrown on me. They got the first down. I came off the field, and I thought my career was over. I wanted to cry because that game's high energy, high. It's electric, and everyone's like booing me, even OU fans. I'm scared. Thankfully, we got a stop. I think we held them to a field goal, or maybe we got the turnover, and yeah, I think it was a field goal. They came up, and then that's when we drove back down and scored. Yeah, but it was one of those things where I was just mentally like, crap. I don't think I've ever been so sad about a play. I was terrified. I thought I was never gonna play again. It was one of those things. That was a bad momentum shifter for me.
Okay, so now shift that over to a life experience. Any momentum shifts in life that has happened to you?
The biggest one is the ACLs. I was on top of the world starting as a true freshman. Like everyone knew my name to just being nobody. Watching a 2021 year where OSU had a historic run, beat OU, beat Notre Dame, and I'm just on the sidelines watching it. Kind of that was a huge adversity fight for me. Just something I had to get over, a giant hump, giant hill, and
Hmm.
that's something that definitely was a momentum shifter for me in life.
Did you have anybody talk to you, help you, or I mean, just kind of help you get through that?
Yeah, Coach Glass was a really big supporter for me. Our strength coach at OSU. He was like, I was always in his office just talking to him. We had a great relationship. He was always trying to help me. We always did extra stuff after weights. Like he was always in my corner, and that's one of the biggest contributors to,
Yeah.
to that story. Them and my parents and family, they were always there for me. My dad came up to Stillwater a lot. My parents see me. So I mean, my family and my coaches and friends were.
Well, man, that's some good stuff. Until you play Oklahoma State, I hope you have a great season playing in the SEC. Man, I know it's gonna be tough. I saw that schedule. I was
Yeah,
like, okay, man,
like the second toughest schedule in
it's
college
gonna be
football or
real.
something.
This
Yeah.
just got real.
It'll be fun.
But I'm proud of you. Proud of the way you overcame things. You didn't flip out and you didn't cuss people out when people left you alone or talked about you. Your parents did a good job. Coaches did a great job, but thank you for coming on the show today, and I wish you the best.
I appreciate you. It means a lot, man.